Hi everyone. I wanted to give you an overview of the rough draft comparative essay assignment. And in this assignment, you're going to be comparing the similarities between two stories, Everything That Rises Must Converge by Flannery O'Connor and A Hunger Artist by Franz Kafka. For the rough draft, you only need to have about 750 words. I will be giving you feedback on the rough draft, and you'll also receive feedback from your partner in the workshop. For the final version, though, when you do revise this, you'll need to have a minimum of 1,250 words. I've provided some thesis statements here that you can use if you like. A Hunger Artist and Everything That Rises Must Converge depict changing worlds in which the refusal to adapt amounts to a death sentence. You can also use this one. Unwillingness to embrace change can lead to the decline of the individual. So you want to use that thesis sentence that you create or choose here in the introduction and make sure to clearly introduce that main idea. To do that, you're going to need to use an attention-getting hook and then a bridge or a transition that leads into the thesis idea. So you want to make sure that you state that thesis clearly in the introduction. In the second paragraph, I would like you to make a contextual paragraph that gives readers some background information on the stories, but in relation to the thesis. I'll show you an example of this in a minute. The body paragraphs are all outlined here for you with clear topic sentences in bold. So, for example, let's look at this one. Rather than embracing such changes, both the artist and the mother resist them. And it gives you some subpoints to cover. So each paragraph that will cover the similarities between the two characters based on that topic sentence up top. So for Julian's mother, for example, you'll be talking about how she is resisting change. Then you'll move on to the Hunger Artist and show readers how he is resisting change as well. So you'll move through all of these topic sentences, creating paragraphs for each, and using quotations from the text that support those topics. Make sure to look at the Framing Your Quotations video and handout so you can get a good idea of how to insert those quotations in correctly to support your ideas. When you come to the conclusion, now a conclusion is always for returning to that thesis idea, but not simply restating it. You want to make meaning out of it. So you want to show readers why that main idea is important. Show them the significance of it. So now let's look at an essay to give you a little bit of an idea of how to set this up. First of all, if you look at this first paragraph, you see that both stories and authors' names are fully introduced in that intro paragraph, and you do want to do that. You can also see that the thesis is clearly stated right there in the first paragraph. Let's look at this contextual sentence, this second sentence that gives a very brief overview of the stories in relation to that thesis of unwillingness to embrace change leading to the decline of the individual. It says, both of these stories have similar themes. A Hunger Artist stars a sad man whose lifelong career is starving himself for people's enjoyment. He considers this an art and devotes his life to becoming the best hunger artist he can be. Eventually, he refuses to believe he is no longer popular and successful and dies pointlessly in a cage. The main character in Everything That Rises Must Converge, Julian's mother, also dies pointlessly. She is a self-righteous racist living during the civil rights movement who is unable to accept the fact that times are changing and her actions lead to a futile death. So can you see how you're getting a little background information on these stories and characters? But it's also tied in to that thesis idea of them dying futilely. And that's what you want to do for that second paragraph. Now, if you examine the remaining paragraphs here, you can see how the topic sentences are clearly here first. Both Julian's mother and the hunger artist live in rapidly changing worlds in which they do not enjoy the status they once did. And the writer here goes in to talk about first Julian's mother and that idea of a rapidly changing world. She brings in a quote that backs up that idea, and then she frames it by finishing it off with an explanation of how that quote supports that topic idea. Then she moves on with the transition to talk about that same topic and how it relates to the hunger artist. She says, unfortunately, the hunger artist is in the same boat. He spends his life fasting, etc. So make sure that you are taking that one topic sentence right here, first applying it to one character, transitioning, and then applying that same idea to the next. Then the second topic sentence, you're going to do the same thing, apply it to one character, use a quote to support it, go on to apply it to the next character, use a quote to support that one too. Keep doing that and working your way through all those paragraphs and topic sentences. And in the end, you want to go back to that thesis idea, talk about the meaning of it and how it's significant. You also want to include a works cited page, and let's get this one down here because a works cited page should always be on its own page by itself and have that hanging indentation as well, which you can view in another video. But I think that this might help you to get this essay structured, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and I can help you with this.